So on to part 3 of Hinnom. So we start on turn 11. We've finished researching Alteration 1. We looked for magic sites with some guys but didn't find anything. And then we found 2 here. We found a Cave of the Pale Ones. Great magic site. The Pale Ones are, who cares? But Death and Earth, very cool. And Nature. So we hit all three paths. And then something happened. So if you recall, there was a province here with barbarians in it, and Vanheim was bordering it, but I couldn't see their troops, as they're glamored and stealthy. Huskarls are no joke. Very sketchy units, quite strong, and then the Vanheir, going up against, like 30-ish barbarians, and you are going to see the power of the Vanheir in action. This is his prophet, Sax. So here we can see his bless. It is, as predicted, just a retard bless. Magic weapons, shock resistance 10, fire resistance 10, cold resistance 10, so resistance against basically everything except poison, which is important. Reinvigoration and blood surge, so like practically immune to everything. And their damage is crazy when they're berserking and when they're blood surging. And they're getting 2 attacks for 1 body, and you can fit 3 of these bodies in 1 square, so you're getting 6 attacks per square. These barbarians stand no chance. And it's not like they have to make a sacrifice for this, right? Like, when they get hit, or rather when they get a kill, and they start their blood surge, their attack goes up even more. That's like these barbarians have no chance. They're never going to land a hit, or they're never going to not get hit, I should say. Looking for one who's berserking. Oh yeah, this guy. So barbarians are pretty, maybe as far as independence go, they're a decent counter to Vanheirs because they just hit really hard, so they don't enable them to berserk. Because to berserk, they have to get hurt and live. But once berserk, their berserk is +5, so they have 16 protection. They have 19 attack skill. Now their defense is only 5, but they are glamored. So they have these illusions around them that you have to pop first before you can hit them. So you have to waste attacks on the glamour. So it doesn't really matter that their defense skill is so low, because they're chopping you up for 26 and 28 damage. Which is just crazy. Like, this power is immense. There's nothing in the game that can stand up to this, at least not at this level, not at this early game. This unit is unbelievably strong. Granted, barbarians are gonna do some damage to them, for sure. Just because barbarians also hit really hard, that the base protection of the Vanheir is almost not quite good enough. Like, sometimes they do get killed in 1 hit. But Vanheirs are so good, they beat the province on their own. But if you recall, I was also moving into this province. So I had a bump with Vanheim, and it was very fortunate that Vanheim fought those barbarians first, because as you can see, he's retained the HP damage from that fight. So he still has all those losses. And the number of Vanheirs he had after that battle was what? How many did he have? He had 12. He had 12 Vanheirs, and he lost 4 of them. Those guys cost 40 gold a pop. So that's 160 gold down the drain. Let's see how he does against my army. So he throws javelins. And then the chariots come in. Chariots are fighting the main army while everyone else is focusing on the prophet. So one Raphite warrior comes in and stabs the Van Jarl to death, and the charioteers bravely gave their lives to kill those Vanheirs. So we win. We beat them. Was it worth it? Yeah, I guess. I mean, definitely a decisive blow. Wiping out his prophet is big, killing 12 Vanheirs technically. that's a lot of gold down the drain. 40 times 12 is 480, plus these Huskarls are another 25. The van here is 140. This is a lot of gold. It's like 600 gold down the drain. And I lost 5 Charioteers, which is 375 gold. Still expensive, undeniably, but a victory, nonetheless. Not intentional. I wasn't planning on attacking Vanheim this turn, but we won a battle against them. And here I am pinging the throne so you can see what they have here. This is a very scary throne. We've got this mage, who's a water mage, ready to cast water elementals. Super powerful threat. This guy who's not intimidating at all. His path level's just too low. This mage who can definitely pump out a lot of fire elementals. Also very scary. And this mage who maybe can cast water elementals too. By eating a gem. I don't know. You can cast a few. And then you got all these Bloodhenge druids who all have nature gems. And they have a bunch of blood slaves. So this is a scary throne. The actual defense is nothing. Like woodsman blowpipes are... who cares? The Dark Vine is... it has a lot of attacks, but it doesn't hit very often, and it doesn't do a lot of damage, and its protection sucks. It's just waiting to get killed. An unexpected event occurred in the province that we took from Vanheim, minus 183 gold.
So this is what Luck 3 does for your nation.
I thought this was extremely irritating. Research-wise, we swapped over to Alteration temporarily just because I wanted personal luck in case my Melkart came out to be Astral. And what do you know? He came out to being Astral. So this is the Melkart. It is a very strong unit. Has fear, resists fire, but it kills a lot of your own population. Your Sacreds do this too, but they only kill 20. This guy kills 80. He's just eating a lot of people. He also caused a lot of unrest, but he is a great blood searcher. He is effectively blood level 6, because you add this number to the blood mage level for searching. So he's like guaranteed to find a lot of slaves everywhere. And his stats are really good. Astral's not bad at all. So what am I doing after this turn? I found that my expansion is done. It is turn 11, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 provinces. So just an abortion of provinces, almost nothing. And our income is terrible. We still have unrest everywhere, eating away our money. I don't even have the gold to recruit in my capital and build infrastructure here on the swamp, which maybe was a mistake. Maybe I should have saved the money to make infrastructure. But what I thought after winning that battle against Vanheim was, okay, I need to attack this guy now before he can rally troops and get some more supplies. I've got Agartha in on it. Atlantis is somewhat like, you know, maybe they'll do something. But Agartha is definitely full bore in on it. And there's some undefended land here I can pretty easily nab. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Melkart and walk him over here. He's going to cast some pretty simple buffs, and he's going to try to take this province. Simultaneously, I'm going to take this army, walk it down here, try to take something over here. And this army, I'm feinting over here to make it look like I'm not going to attack him, but I am going to walk it down here. So my goal is to take 2 or 3 provinces on the first turn, because I'm just so desperate for money. I have to get involved in a war. And I'm sending out a scout over here to check out what Lanka's doing. So then we are into turn 12, the end of year 1. We cast Distill Gold because I didn't have a use for these fire gems, and I desperately needed gold. So I got a little early paycheck. Didn't find any magic sites in the swamp with Priest. and a worldwide event occurred. We are having a death match. This is a no spellcasting death match, so that'll be cool to watch next turn. But I'm not participating because I'm doing something more important. We finished the palisade over here, and so I decided to do nothing with that. And in my capital, I'm making another mage, and I'm making some Horite champions because these guys hit really hard. They're sort of the same principle as the barbarian, or at least that's my thought process behind making them. They can hit so hard, they'll kill the Vanir in one hit. So we won't have an opportunity to do anything else. And I'm also building a lab here because I want to start making more mages, including the shamans. But the war is beginning. I'm walking the Melkart into this province and this army into this province. Hopefully the PD isn't too bad. This guy's walking over here, and I'll go and nab this. If all goes well, I can take a few provinces and maybe, like, declare peace or something, because there's no way this war could be followed up. Like, my army that I have is pitiful. It is so tiny. My income is so poor. It would be effortless to wipe me out. But I hope maybe with a combination of diplomacy and quick action that I can get a peace or take some land and then peace out. Hopefully not with too many losses, because there's no way in hell I'll ever win a sustained war against Vanheim. His Vanhirs are just better than anything I can produce. If I get a lot of magic, if I get my research engine going, and I got some pretty high level stuff, then yes. Then I can probably beat the Vanhirs. But there's a terrible bit of luck I'm experiencing. I cannot roll an Earth random Ami, which those guys are essential because they can cast Earth Meld, which is a great spell to cast against Vanhirs. It crushes their defense and makes them really easy to hit. So if they're easy to hit, then these guys with their great clubs can just bonk them on the head and take them out. But I've not got any. I've not got a single Earth Ami this game. We're on turn 12. I've made, what, 6 of them? Still haven't got any of them. Which is just awful. They would be such an essential tool to winning this war. So this war is not a long-term thing. It's just to, like, grab some easy land and get out. Because I didn't think there was any way I could possibly win this war. So that's turn 12, turn 13. A lot of events happened this turn. We got our Ring of Water Breathing. I was talking to Water Nations to try to pay for this, so I did send him 5 Death Gems, I think, for this, which is not a good deal for Femoria. I mean, Death Gems are the most valuable gems, but that's just like he's valuing his mage turn at nothing. Like, I would have paid more. I would have paid maybe 6, 7 Death Gems for this item, because I really wanted to get underwater, because I was so desperate to expand, because my expansion was just so crap. And then we got a wonderful message from Femoria. And Urmor proclaimed a new prophet. So I guess Urmor's expansion is also not going very well. And there was a battle in the Range of Shadow, which is our Melkart attacking into Vanheim. So Vanheim PD is one of the special kinds of PD in the game. They have Vanhirses, which are a really good unit. They're basically a mini thug. They can bless themselves. They're Air 1, so they can do some minor buffs on themselves, like cast Flight. They have a lot of attacks. Their stats are really good. They're an incredibly strong commander on province defense. So this is not a sure deal at all. After casting my buff cycle, I am negating the first attack. I am lucky, which is important, and I am blessed. I don't have that terrible fatigue, and my stats are looking pretty good. Now, thankfully, the Vanhirs here is just casting Phantasmal Warrior, which is not threatening. But there is a bit of a chain here where I get stuck up on warriors, but thankfully there's a route, and the Vanhirs runs away. I think this battle could have gone a lot differently if the Van Heers actually engaged my Melkart. But thankfully he didn't, so we didn't have to worry about it. And we took that province easy peasy. And then in the Dawnland, he didn't even have PD here. He didn't even have PD. He just let me nab it from him. So that's great. We had an unexpected event in the Rim Mountains. A barbarian horde unexpectedly attacked and pillaged our province. So, yeah, we have a big chunk of barbarians over here. And they just mulch the PD. So that was super unlucky. Now my gains here from this land are cut off. Like this Melkart invasion, the whole point was basically to just get an influx of currency, and that's kind of failed. This is a good province. Like, for some reason, it still has 21 unrest. I don't know why these guys they produce 2 unrest each, so we should have 4. I don't know where it becomes 21. But anyway, this province looks undefended, and all this stuff does too, but all of Vanheim's troops are invisible, so I really don't know where they could be. However, my ally Agartha has come through. He's marched out from this cave up here and has taken this province from Vanheim this turn, which means the income that Vanheim would have got from these provinces is not happening anymore because he only has his capital. I think he has land over here on this island, like he expanded in this direction over this tree and down here. So if he doesn't have a castle over here, he's losing all this money. So that's really big. He even lost the money from this province because it can't draw a line to his capital, I think. I think Agartha owns this province. So he's really limited to just these 2, which is so big. This is like, I'm thinking to myself, wow, what an amazing strategic coincidence that we have just crippled Vanheim's economy in the first turn of the war. Now, I had this really unlucky event, which is sad, but enough of that. We need to watch this arena battle. So the first is between Fomoria, and this is his prophet, the Fomorian king, who is a really strong unit, quite comparable to a Melkart. He has, as predicted, a regeneration bless. So he is healing 9 HP a turn. And this guy is on the Hall of Fame, so he has extra defense skill. Yeah, he's wearing this helmet, so he's giving himself an extra attack, 25, against Atlantis' prophet. And interestingly, Atlantis took a similar bless, regeneration, and larger. I don't think larger is useful for Atlantis. Like, the only reason you'd ever want to take enlarge is if you want your weapon to be longer range so you could repel attacks. But I don't I don't think that's particularly useful on Atlantis. Anyway, we'll see what happens. There's no magic in this fight, so there's just slugging it out. Agartha gets, or rather, Atlantis gets a nasty hit on the Prophet, chopping away a bunch of his HP and poisoning him. But the Fomorian King is regenerating, and he regenerates more than the poison can do. And it was actually pretty close. Like, yeah, he is regenerating a lot now, but he was hitting him really hard. Like, he broke his shield and then hit him for 22. He hit him and he broke the shield again, hit him in the leg for 13. Chopped him up in the legs for more damage, hit him in the body for 32. Like, this was a close battle. I want to say that without the Gore helmet, that Fomoria would have lost. And then, I don't even know who this is, just some guy sent a dude on a horse. Yeah, it was Calum. He just gets killed. So, congratulations to Fomoria, the winner. He got the Champion's Headband, which is quite a nice item. It gives you quickness and luck, which is good. So for this turn, Still site searching, still sending out scouts over here. I'm looking at Lanka's land thinking, oh my god, this guy has so much free territory to get. He must be huge. If he attacks me, if Vanheim enlists his help, I'm done. Like, I gotta get out of this war fast. I gotta make these moves quick. So I'm hitting here with this army, which hopefully is enough to beat the PD. I've got this stuff in my cap. I would like to draw your attention to the fact that I've been recruiting Amis basically nonstop, and I still don't have an Earth random Ami. I've still not got it. We're now in turn 13, still don't have a single one. So I'm thinking there's absolutely no way I win this long-term war. And my money, my financial situation just sucks, especially losing this province is really, really sad. So to turn 14, we fought a few more battles, and we got a message from Atlantis. Reports from the countryside from fishmongers are coming in. And basically just his pretender is waking up. Which is alright. We got alteration too. We found a magic site here in the Stinging Swamp, a mud field, which is a nice +1 earth gem. And then we have this province in his cap circle. Oops. And he put a lot of PD here. This is a lot of bone tribe hunters, and these guys are no slouches. They also have berserk, like the Vanheers, and they hit hard. They're sort of designed to kill big stuff. He recruited some, even. The charioteers get blasted, but the Vanheers runs away for some reason, and the rest of the PD follow suit. I'm not sure we would have won if the Vanheer stayed. This province had no PD, so we take that. And then over here in Ulafa, we find a Dwarven Smith, which is a slow-to-recruit expensive mage for Vanheim. We've caught that guy. And he's not really casting anything, he just gets run over. So, at this turn, we've taken no losses here, and we've killed 180 gold worth of stuff. I wonder if he was building a fort here, and if I interrupted it. I want to say the answer is yes, and the smith was here to build a lab. And over here we killed, what is this, like 50 gold worth of stuff, but this is like 300, 400 PD worth of troops. We definitely won that trade. So we're winning the battles very decisively, and our income has shot up tremendously this turn. We've got 200 more gold than we did last turn. Really, it looks good on paper, but it's not good in practice because I still have lost so much. I still have such a massive deficit to indies that I'm just playing catch up. Thankfully, Vanheim is still losing all the income from these provinces, and now he's restricted to his capital. He doesn't own the throne. Agartha's over here still, so he's making practically no money. All these provinces are dead weight. Agartha is buying out all the mercs, so he must have a lot of land over here. Maybe he's down in the caves. He pushed past this throne. He's blowing a lot of money on mercenaries. We've encountered Atlantis, who's on land, which doesn't make me happy, but there's nothing I can do about it right now. I'm going to consolidate an army here, and maybe try for the barbarians, maybe go for this province down here. I just don't want my Melkart to get caught by some like Vanheim sneaky army down here. Right now he's just raiding PD, which is fine, that works. But I don't know if it can continue. Amazingly, we finally got an Earth random army. On turn 14, we finally got one. So I'm immediately sending him out, scripted to cast Earth Meld. He's meeting up with this army out of my cap, with some Horite champions and Raphite warriors here in the farmland, and I'm moving this army into position. Maybe with a combined force of this army and this army, we could possibly storm the capital, or at least siege it. Because a big part of our potential victory in this war will be shutting down his production of Vanheers, because those are really his ultimate doomsday weapon, are those Vanheers. So if we could siege his capital, he won't be able to produce them anymore. At least that's the hope. We got a random event here where we found some very nice gems, a lab, which is fine. It's kind of in a useless province, but nice to have. And then a bunch of gold, a nice nugget of gold, which is quite nice. It really pays for the giant fortress that I'm building here now. I really needed a temple here earlier so I could get those shamans. But I'm making these slaves to work as siege chaff because I'm thinking in my mind, maybe after that victory, maybe we can siege Vanheim itself. I'm making another milk cart, making more sacreds because I'm just thinking about ways to kill Vanheim, or Vanheers. Still scouting around in Lanka. We found Russ, so Russ is up here on this island. Lanka's over here. At this point, I've basically talked to all the players, so I know where all of them are. Urmor is over here on this island, on this side of the river, but Agartha owns over here. Fumoria has this entire island to himself, although I think Urmor is trying to take some pieces of it. Yeah. Calum has this whole area to himself, and Calum, I think, actually spawned in one of the mountains. So he has unrestricted access to the whole map, effectively. And the fact that he's flying is really quite big, because these mountains all have these mountain passes that require heat scales to traverse. So if your nation is cold, you can't get up them, unless you're Calum, and you can fly. So Niflheim, for example, can never get up these. Niflheim, by the way, is over here. So Lanka, Calum, and Niflheim have the big island all to themselves. And I'm over here in the cuck shed with 4 other players. And Urmor is kind of close. And Russ is also pretty close too. He still doesn't own this cave yet. What turn are we on? 14. Let's get to turn 15. So we've got thaumaturgy now because I'm thinking I have all these astral Amis and I might as well have them cast Mind Burn. That could be useful. Excuse me. And then some thrones were claimed this turn. Fumoria claimed the Iron Throne, which you recall is very important. It gives you access to the Earth 2 Astral 2 Mage. And then Russ also claimed a throne, which gives him access to the Earth 2 Astral 2 Mage. So the best thrones have already been claimed, which is just great. And then we fought another battle against Agartha, or Vanheim, not Agartha. And this is actually Vanheim attacking us. So he sent a party of Vanheers, 3, 6, 9, 12, looks like 14, 15 Vanheers. And he's being led by 2 dwarven smiths, which I don't understand. These guys can't bless your troops. I think this is a mistake, because without a bless, they're significantly less intimidating. Now granted, they will chop up the PD quite effectively without a bless, they just die instantly, but upon contact with my very tanky, very pokey troops, they just sort of melt, and the smiths run away. And I have to imagine he did kill both my sacreds, though, bleeding. I have to imagine this battle would have been a success for Vanheim if he just brought a Vanheers instead of these smiths. He did some very crippling damage to me, though. Losing both my sacreds, 260 gold down the drain, a charioteer 75, and another 75 swordsman. So that's 150 plus 260 is 410 gold, but he lost 14 times 40, which is like, what, 600 gold or something? It's somewhat of an even trade. We got Camus Karmas, the Stalker, who washed ashore from the sea. Oops. Who is a really cool assassin. He's ethereal. He's stealthy. He's got a poison dagger. Very important. 15 damage. Kill. And he's really good. He can scale walls, which is a really nifty feature that not many assassins get. And he's a good assassin. Assassination 3. Give this guy a water bottle. Yeah, anyway, I'm setting him over here in the direction of 184 so he can assassinate the sorceress woman over there, if the other one hasn't already keeled over from disease. We found a copper mine over here, which is good. Every bit of gold is so essential, but this province, for some reason, has really high unrest. It's had really high unrest since I claimed it, and so I'm losing a lot of gold here that I could be getting otherwise. Movement-wise, this army is pretty tiny. There's not much left after that nasty battle. So what I'm doing is I'm taking this commander and I'm retreating him back here, trying to hold this area. Maybe I can regroup with another army and get more units. In this mail cart, I have walking down here into 125 because I see a smith there and I want to kill it. And I'm getting greedy because I'm winning a lot of battles. And so I think maybe I can just win the war on my own. Maybe I don't need a Gartha or whatever. We've foreseen a major event that'll occur in 6 months, and that is another deathmatch. It's not just another deathmatch, it's another no spellcasting deathmatch. So we will actually, whoever goes into that arena will be fighting the Fomorian king again. He does have high defense skill, but I think beating him is not impossible on a Melkart.
If I could get the right buffs on this guy, I think I could win. But it might just be a coin flip, honestly.
Whether I win or lose. Like, looking at the Fomorian king, his attack and defense skill aren't very good. His protection, I think, is worse than my Melkart's. Oh, yeah. 15, 18, 19. 15, 18, 19. 15, 18, 19. Yeah, so we've got 3 more attack, 5 more defense, and 4 more protection. But remember, the guy had really high defense from his heroic ability, so his defense is probably more like 19 or something. So the defense is pretty comparable. But his damage is lower than mine. His chance to hit is a 12. And mine is a 18 and a 15, which is necessary against his really high defense. We've got fear. Yeah, we can buff ourselves. We can bless ourselves. Or no, we can't. We can't do those things. Huh? I didn't think about that. I didn't think we can't actually bless ourselves because it's a magicless tournament. I wonder then if I would win by reinvigoration. I'm wondering about it because we've reached the point where I've basically caught up almost with where the game is presently. And yeah, I'm thinking reinvigoration is really a core part of this guy's success. Like, being able to cast Blood Surge gets me that little extra bit of stats that I need to push myself over the edge so I can beat his king. It's not like he has more attacks than me. He has the same number of attacks. He does have quickness cast on himself, which is spooky. Maybe the extra protection would carry the day. Oh, but he had regeneration going off. Oh, because that was his profit, right. Yeah, so he'd be regenerating 9 HP a turn. Yeah, maybe not. Nah, I don't think that Melkart would win in that case. Like, even if he's hitting really hard, even if he's hitting for like 15, 20 damage, he's going to regenerate half of that, or more than half of the damage I do in one turn. Yeah, no, I don't think I win. I don't think I win that battle. Anyway, that's all for this turn. I'm just moving this army around because I'm like, maybe I can go hit the capital, but I'm also moving down here because I'm being stupid and greedy and not thinking. This army just needs to hit these barbarians. It doesn't need to do this stupid thing. It just needs to hit these barbarians and take that freaking province back because I've lost so much gold from province 150 that I need back desperately because I'm so poor. I'm so poor, I can barely afford anything. I'm finally getting that Burning Pearl out, though, for this Melkart, because he's going to hit these Shark Tribe Tritons. So that'll be good. Yeah, I'm going to have to end this bit here. I've been marathoning these this evening, and my voice is basically given out. Shoo. Yeah, not much else to say. Agartha, I think, is moving to take this throne this turn. But the first 15 turns have not been good to me. This war's been pretty successful. But we'll see how it goes. Oh yeah, I already said that. I already said where everyone was. Yeah, Atlantis just creepily sitting here on land. Not sure what he's going to do. That's the end of part 3.